Did you know that men fall in love faster than women do? It's true. But something very weird happens when we start to fall in love, and some very unusual behavior starts to appear. So here are 6 very unusual things that men do when they fall in love. Keep watching. Hey there, my name is Adam LaDolce. I'm the founder and executive love coach here at Love Strategies, and over the past decade, we have coached tens of thousands of clients. And one thing that we've noticed with all of these clients is that for those who have never been in a healthy relationship, some of this behavior that I'm gonna be talking about for men can kind of throw them off a little bit. So I'll tell you the same thing that I tell our clients, and that is what's very unfamiliar to us can feel very uncomfortable at first, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Don't run at the first sign of some of this unusual behavior, because a lot of what I'm gonna be talking about is perfectly normal. So I'm gonna be walking you through these unusual signs, and unusual is an acronym just to have a little bit of fun today. So the U in unusual is that they use much more romantic language. You might hear a guy say, baby, sweetie. He might even tell you that you are the cheese to his macaroni. Now, when he says these types of things, you might just be like, oh, God, that is so disgusting. But come on, macaroni can be delicious sometimes. You get the point. When a guy is falling in love with you, he's going to want to express his love. And some guys who maybe haven't been in a relationship in a while, they might take this a little bit too far. They might say baby, they might say sweetie. If he takes it too far, just be sure to tell him, you know what? The baby thing, that's not really working for me. Just know that this is very normal when a guy is falling in love with a woman. He wants to express it in sometimes the cheesiest ways. Pun intended. The N in unusual is for new adventures. When people are in that honeymoon period, that new time in a brand new relationship where everything is so exciting and you're just so excited to be with this new person in your life and have this new partnership, this new budding relationship, people are much more likely to take risks than they might in other stages of their life. Now, at the extremes, this is doing crazy things that you would never do. Maybe you might go bungee jumping. Maybe you might just play a sport that you would never play. It could be pickleball. It could be riding on the back of his motorcycle, whatever it is. But when a man is falling in love with a woman, he's also going to be much more open to these new adventures than you might be in other stages of his life. Like for me personally, I've never been a big hiking guy. All right. Hiking is not my thing. But when I first started dating Jessica, she always loved to hike this mountain called Mount Monadnock in New Hampshire. And she's like, let's go hike this thing. So I thought it was going to be like a hill. I'm like, this is going to be easy. When I got there, this is like a 4-hour hike up a mountain. And that was wild to me, but I was open to it because it was a new relationship and I was excited to do it and I was totally on board with it. Now, if she asked me to go hike Mount Monadnock, not so sure about that. The U in unusual is upholding relationship traditions. You'll find that in new relationships, these types of traditions start to form. And I remember, again, not to talk about my relationship too much in this video, but I do remember our first year of dating, Jessica and I, we went to this restaurant where they would do hot pot. For those of you who don't know what hot pot is, it's basically a big bowl of soup and you put meat in it and you cook it and it is delicious. But this became like a tradition for us. Every single Sunday, we'd go to the same hot pot place in Boston and it would give us like this raging bellyache afterwards, but it was totally worth it. And it just became a part of our regular tradition. And this is the type of behavior that men are going to want to do when they start falling in love. And it might not just be a restaurant, it could be other activities or even the way you speak with each other. All of this is perfectly normal when you are falling in love with a person. The S in unusual is surprise gestures. And yes, surprise is the key word. I remember I had a client who was dating a guy for, I don't know, like 1 or 2 months. It was a new relationship. And I remember she was telling me that he stopped by her house unexpectedly to take her to a concert. He bought her tickets. One of her favorite bands was in town and he wanted to surprise her. And she came on a call with us and she was totally taken aback by this. She's like, I get it, like he really wanted to surprise me, but the dude should have given me a heads up. But she agreed after we talked about it. Like when a man falls in love, he wants nothing more than to see the joy in your eyes and he wants to surprise you. And this is perfectly normal. Now, should a guy be just showing up at a woman's house? Absolutely not. But it came from a good place. Another U in unusual is for understated clothing. When men are dating, we kind of get our act together, or we try to with our clothing. When men get into relationships, you might see a little bit of degradation in his style. I'm not saying that this is okay, but this might start to happen. He might hold on to that one t-shirt that he's been wearing every single day, and he might start wearing that on every single date you go on. It's weird, it's unusual, but it means that he's starting to feel comfortable with you. The A in unusual is affection in public, or the dreaded PDA. This is when he's wrapping his arm around you in public. He might want to kiss you in public. He might want to hold you. He might try to really kiss you, like make out in public. All of these things I would put into the category of PDA, and sometimes it's pretty inappropriate. I'm not a big PDA guy, neither is my wife, thank God. But when a guy is falling in love, he just wants to hold you. He wants to be around you. Or I recently had a woman telling me that she went out with a guy in she's new relationship, and she took him to a work event. And he kept putting his arm around her. Like, it's a work event, dude. Like, this is not the place for him to be like holding her around his hand on her waist. It's just not that appropriate. But again, not excusing the behavior, but he's falling in love with you. He doesn't want to lose you. He wants to hold on to you. He wants to be around you. And that is the type of behavior you'll see when a guy's falling in love. And the final unusual behavior you'll see when a man starts to really fall in love with a woman is that he is going to upgrade his living space a little bit. Seriously, if you saw my apartment when I was single, you would be shocked. It was pure chaos. There was nothing in the fridge. I didn't do laundry. It was not the type of place that a woman should ever step foot in. But once I started falling in love and started to have a relationship, suddenly it's time to get my act together because I'm starting to get prepared. Like, maybe she's going to be spending more time there. Maybe we're going to be moving in together. I don't want to look like a bad roommate. Now I would put this in like the good bucket of unusual. We want him to be upgrading his living space. And by the way, if he's not upgrading his living space, you can help him out a little bit there. It's time for him to say goodbye to his bachelor pad and kind of step it up a little bit. So I want to hear from you in the comments there below. Have you ever seen any of these unusual behaviors when a man's falling in love? Let me know in the comments, and I'll speak to you, you beautiful lady, next week. Bye-bye.